Okay, then we're going to be making a Pokemon clone. We'll start by creating the world node. It'll be a node 2D because Pokemon is 2D, and this will be our main node where our world is located. In the world, we want a kinematic body to go in. This is going to be our player, and then we're going to use a sprite for our player. Yeah, we're going to be using these sprites. I'll link them in the description. Turn map and filter off, otherwise they appear blurry. It's just how Godot renders pixel art, I guess. We're going to be using a region, which is of width 32 and height 32. The 64 pixels down is for the down sprite. We're using a 16 by 16 grid, and we're going to turn grid step on so we can line up the kinematic body into the world at somewhere 16 pixels, and then we're going to put the player around in the same grid box. You have to line it up yourself because it won't snap to this grid. There we go. In Pokemon, the player usually overflows out of the grid that the world takes place in because it takes place in a 16 by 16 grid. We're going to be using a camera 2D with a zoom level of 0.2. Make it the current camera and set its position to 0, 0. If I can find it. And then we're going to drag the camera out of the kinematic body so we can see the movement until we have animations and other elements in the world, which we'll do in a later video. We're going to make a folder called script, and in this file, we're going to call the file player. I recommend watching or reading the Godot tutorials before doing any of this, the docs. So we're going to create some variables. First, we're going to make direction, and this is going to be a vector 2. This is the direction our player is moving in. It will either be 1 or -1 in the x-axis, or 1 or -1 in the y-axis, because those are the directions it's going in, not the rate at which it's going in that direction. We have a Boolean variable which defines if the player is moving or not, and a speed constant, which is the rate the player is moving. 1 is plenty, unless you want to go out, and a grid variable, which defines what grid our world takes place in. It's going to be 16. Make sure your speed is a multiple of the grid variable, otherwise this won't work for you. We're going to be using fixed process. So first up, if the player is not moving, we want to listen for inputs. I have added WAST to UI up, UI down, UI left, and UI right. Then if the player presses one of the keys, moving will equal true. The direction will be for up 0, -1. Accidentally control-lessing because I'm used to doing that in IDs. Kind of a paranoid like that. We need to add a variable for the start position, so the position at which the player started moving. This is going to be a vector 2, and all we have to do is set its position to the current position when the player presses one of these keys. Then we can just repeat this, and the only thing we'll have to change is the input and the direction. So just copy that. We're going to put on elif because we don't want the player moving multiple directions at once. If you can see any way to improve my code, please just drop a comment. This is what I came up with anyway. And it works. That's 0, 1 for moving down, -1, 0 for moving left, and 1, 0 for moving right. Then if we are moving, we move to the current position, add the direction times speed. And then we just want to check if we are in the position we need to be, and the position we need to be is, so if get pos is equal to the start pos plus new vector 2, the grid times the direction dot x, and the grid times the direction dot y. The direction dot x and neither the direction dot x and the direction dot y will never be the same, which is basically we're checking for if the player is 16 pixels in whatever direction they're going. And then we've stopped moving and want to listen to inputs again. And as you see, we move in a 16 by 16 grid. Tapping the WASD keys, if you noticed when I hold them, move smoothly. It's a nice movement system. Anyway, we'll add collisions next time.